Hi, everybody. It's good to see you. I hope things are well. Won't you pull you up a chair and set a spell while we talk about the Harpes Brothers, serial killers from the early 1700s. Micah was born around 1768, and Wiley, he was born around 1770. Both were born in Orange County, North Carolina, to Scottish parents who migrated from Scotland in 1760 and settled in North Carolina between 1761 and 1763. The Harpes were Calvinists and avowed Tories loyal to the king. Just before the American Revolutionary War, Big and Little Harpes' father served in Tories militia in the War of the Regulations from 1765 to 1771. The colonists took up arms against the royal government interference by British colonels and officials. When the Revolutionary War started, the Harpes' father tried to join the Patriot American forces, but was refused because of the association with the British loyalists in the past. The Patriots' neighbors treated the Harpes hostilely. Many say this is why Big and Little Harpe has a desire to get revenge against the people they considered rebellious traitors who were still loyal to the British subject, King George III. May 1775, the Harpes left for Virginia to find jobs on a plantation. Big Harpe later traveled with two women, Susan and Betty Roberts, both bearing his children. Little Harpe, well, he married Sally Rice, the daughter of a Baptist minister. In 1797, the Harpes began their vicious crime spree in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois. They confessed to 39 innocent folks, but it's estimated to be more than 50 that they murdered. While they were living near Knoxville, Tennessee, they were drove out of the town for stealing hogs and horses and accused of murdering a man named Johnson. Johnson's body was found in a river covered in urine and ripped open, and the cavity filled with rocks to weigh him down in the river. This became a signature Harpes Brothers body disposal technique. It is reported that they butchered anyone who provoked them, even going as far as murdering children. The two fled to Kentucky on the Wilderness Road near the Cumberland Gap. It's told they were accused of murdering a peddler named Peyton, stealing his horse and goods. They also murdered two travelers from Maryland. A man traveling from Virginia to Kentucky turned up dead, and his name was John Langford. A local innkeeper led authorities to the two Harpes brothers, and they were captured and jailed in the state prison in Danville, Kentucky, but they soon escaped. A posse went after them, and a young boy was found mutilated by the brothers in retaliation. The boy just so happened to be the son of one of the members of the posse chasing him. April 22nd, 1799, Governor James Girard placed a $300 reward for each of the brothers, dead or alive. They killed two more men, Edmonton and Stump, while traveling north. In Illinois, at the Saline River, 3 men camping were killed by the two vicious Harpes brothers. They made their way to Cave in the Rock. It was a natural cave above the banks of the Ohio River. Samuel Mason, a river pirate, and his gang made their stronghold here. The posse that was pursuing the brothers stopped short of the cave on the banks across the river. The Harpes, their wives, and children held up with the Mason gang. They preyed upon slow-moving float boats moving along the Ohio River. The Mason gang could be ruthless at times, but the Harpes brothers were the worst. Samuel Mason forced the brothers to leave. Their unnecessary brutal murders were more than they could take. The brothers returned to East Tennessee and continued their murder spree. They killed a farmer named Hardin and a young boy named Coffin in July 1798. William Ballard's body turned up in the Holston River, hidden in the Harpe style. John Graves and his son were found butchered by the two brothers. August 1799, while in Russellville, Kentucky, Big Harpe bashed his infant daughter's head in because of her constant crying. It is told that he confessed his remorse for this one. The two brothers were given shelter at the Stegall home, where they ended up killing Major William Lovin, Mrs. Stegall, and her child. August 24, 1799, the two were preparing to kill settler George Smith, but finally the posse found them. The posse called for their surrender. They tried to run. Little Harpe, which was Micah, was shot in the leg and back and was pulled from his horse and subdued with a tomahawk in the scuffle. As he lay dying, he confessed to 20 murders, while Mr. Stegall cut Little Harpe's head off, staked it on a pole, and left it at the crossroad near the Stegall cabin where Harpe killed his wife and baby. Harpe's Head Road is now the name of the crossroads. Well, Wiley escaped and rejoined the Mason gang at the Cave Rock, but 4 short years later, the gang was captured, but Wiley used an alias, John Sutton, and Mason escaped, but Mason was shot. Little Harpe and another gang member tried to claim the bounty on Mason's head. The two presented Mason's head, but a Kentucky citizen recognized the two outlaws and they were arrested. They quickly escaped, but were recaptured yet again. This time, they were tried and sentenced to hang. January 1804, Wiley, Little Harpe, was executed. His head was cut off and put on a pole along the Natchez Trace as a warning to all outlaws. With a snap of the rope, the horrible Appalachian murder spree was over. Folks, I want to thank you for sitting and listening to the story of the horrible history of the Harpes Brothers. We thank you for listening. We love you to pieces, and we'll see you next time.